the sun's at a much lower angle during the winter time, so we can gain heat with it during the winter more effectively on a vertical install, as opposed to having it up on a roof or maybe closer to a horizontal orientation. And this we already saw. So just to go over some of the things that we think about when we're looking at installing a system for customers. The first big thing we're always looking for is a south-facing roof and a clear roof. So if I go down to Sydenham Ward to try to install a system, 50% of the time, there's too many trees down there. The trees are taller than the homes. We can't find a nice, clear solar access. So we're looking for a window from about 9 o'clock till 3 o'clock where we've got full sun on that area where we're going to put the panels. Ideally, we want to be south-facing because that's the best orientation. If we can't do that, we can move to the west or the east. I've had a couple of people convince me the north roof gets lots of sun. It doesn't really, not affected sun. So south is our first choice. We go west, you lose about 10–15% of the energy you would have if you're on the south face. And then east is our third choice. Typically, we like to go on the roof. Why? Mainly so that we can be up high off the ground. Again, these things live for about 20–25 years. The best example I've seen is Kingston Regional Hospital Laundry. If you ever drive by there going up Montreal, you can see solar panels that were installed 20 years ago and maple trees that are about 10 feet taller than the panels. So trees grow up, and the higher we are up on the roof, the longer we have before we have to worry about shading. It also actually reduces the cost of a rack that we would have to put in on a ground mount. As far as doing residential systems, at this point in time in Kingston, we're not required to do a permit for solar hot water, pool, or air heating, as long as we use a master plumber for installations. Depending on the system, so when I call it a combi system, if it's a larger system where there's maybe some structural concerns as far as the roof goes, we may look at having to get a permit from the city. This is another big issue right here, space for a storage tank. Several times we'll find a roof that there's great south access roof. We go down into the basement, there's not room for anything. We need to put a tank down there which takes a footprint of about 3 feet by 3 feet. So that's something that needs to be considered. And if we're looking at pool systems, for instance, we need a very large surface area for a pool system. Some current incentives that are out there. For solar hot water, it's quite attractive. There's about $1,000, or there is $1,000 to be gained through the Eco Energy program. Ontario Eco Energy provides $500. Ontario matches that. There's something called the PST rebate, which isn't the full 8% because you actually don't pay PST on an installed system, so you get 3% of the total. So that generally turns out to be about $200. Just recently, I don't even have it on this slide, with the Green Energy Act, there's a 15% renovation credit that you can get. So I believe that's up to a maximum of $1,000. Another program that's out there, see Jeff in the back over here from Utilities Kingston. There's a rental program, solar hot water rental program that Kingston Utilities is one of the few pilot projects that are out there. If anybody sitting here is a commercial owner, you can get roughly 35 to 55% of the cost of a solar hot water system paid for through the Eco Energy program. Maintenance, very little maintenance. Every 3 years, we're looking at a glycol test to make sure that it's not breaking down due to too much stagnation or too much heat. We're estimating that'll be, an hour, 2 hours service visit every 3 years, so it'll cost maybe $100 to $150 depending on what's done. Pool systems require proper draining in the fall to make sure that the pipes don't freeze. This can either be done by the pool company, the owner, or in some cases we come out to drain the system. And a quick case study, I think I've got enough time for this. So a 2-panel system. Currently installed cost for something like that is around $6,500. In this case, 5-person household. I put $1,195 in rebates. We'd actually add another $700, roughly $750 in the tax credit. So their out of pocket would actually be about $4,500. Without that on there, the savings are $465 in the first year. Return on investment is 15.3%. As we all know, I don't think there's any mutual fund holders out there that see a third of this right now. So you invest in solar, and it's not smoke and mirrors, it's just true numbers. It pays for itself in 8 years. You see some curve to that slide. This was done with a feasibility modeling program that the government puts out. Very accurate. We've confirmed it against commercial systems that we put in. We're very confident with the predictions that it does. Now, what you see as far as the curve is estimating that energy is going to go up 7% per year. And this is where people find it hard to believe you spend $6,000 or $5,000 on a solar hot water system. After it's been with you for 25 years, it saved you $27,000. That's significant. So I'll slip right through the pool. The pool is even a better return on investment. And just get to the conclusions. Of all the renewable energy systems out there, solar thermal is the most cost effective. And it's not a debating point. We do wind, we do solar electric. There's not an installer out here who won't agree with me that solar thermal is the most effective. Returns on investment over 10%. So you borrow money at a very attractive rate now. You can get a 10% return on your system. And of the solar thermal technologies, pool heating is the best payback. And that's it. So now